Welcome back to the last Code With Me video of Chapter 4. In this one, we'll be talking about how to add a favicon to your site. If you take a close look in the folder, you see that we actually have a favicon already created, this kind of airplane-looking icon. If you take a look on the actual browser, you notice that we have a sort of weird page thingy looking in our actual icon area. If you notice in the validator, it actually has the NU, which is the version it has right now for the validator. If you have something such as google.com, you can take a look and see that Google actually has its own favicon. So does Facebook and a lot of your other different sites as well. The Facebook icon shows up, the Google icon shows up, the new icon shows up, and even AB Tech has their own icon as well that shows up in the top of the browser or tab. Now, if you have these items bookmarked, you can see that the bookmark shows the icon as well. And if you have a bunch of more tabs added or lined up, you can see that the item that's actually being shown is, of course, the favicon. If all of these sites have the exact same favicon or even have something along the lines that looks just like this little blank page, then you have no idea what you're clicking on once you have a gazillion different tabs open. But that's a little over the top. So let's close all these out, because that's way too many. Okay, and get back to our code for adding the favicon. Now, keep in mind that the favicon can be any image type, PNG, JPEG, GIF, or GIF, depending on how you say it, and even the ICO. We recommend the ICO format just for older browser compatibility. If you have other formats such as PNG or a JPEG, newer browsers such as Chrome, Firefox, or even Edge should support it. But a lot of people, very surprisingly, still use older browsers such as Internet Explorer 6, which hasn't been around since 2002. And I believe Microsoft doesn't even support it anymore. But for some reason, people still use it, and in this case, we use the ICO for the depreciated browsers. Now, how exactly do you add a favicon to a page? Well, with this, you want to make sure you're going to the head section, not the header, not the H1 section of your page, the head section where the title is. You have the meta tag, the character set, the title tag, and now we're going to be adding one more. So in this case, we're going to be adding a link, and this is basically allowing the page to reference something else that's not really being displayed in the content, but instead be displayed somewhere else in the page. This is just telling the browser where to look for it. So the first one we need is the hypertext reference, or the href. Just like the src and the image, if you get the two mixed up, it's perfectly okay. That's something that happens to a lot of even veteran developers. But for link, we have the hypertext reference. We also have the rel, or the relative aspect, because we're going to be telling the browser what this is. There are many different types of link attribute values, and in this case we're going to be telling it that it is a favicon. So the first things first, we need to add the favicon. Well, all of our images are in images/favicon.ico, right? Well, not necessarily. The icon itself is in the same folder as our document, so we don't need to add images to the location of the icon because it's in the exact same folder. So we don't need the images, and we don't need this delimiter because there's no delimiter between the file and the icon. So just load the icon itself. For the rel, we're going to say it is an icon. You can say shortcut icon, you can say favicon. The most industry practice value is just icon by itself. All right, enough talk. Let's see it in action. Save, browser, pay attention to this right here. Refresh, and now we have the little airplane icon. All right, now if you go and create your own favicon using one of the services, it most likely will generate a .ico for you. If you have something you want to use as a PNG, it can use a PNG as well. Just keep in mind it won't have the older browser compatibility. Okay, so that is all of the Coding With Me videos for Chapter 4. If you have any questions regarding anything with the favicon, adding images for Chapter 4, or anything in Chapter 4 at all, please hit me up on email or on Twitter, or the method of your choosing. I'll get back to you the best way I know how. Until then, please take a look at your assignments for Chapter 4, and until later, we'll be working in Chapter 5.